Welcome one, welcome all. Thank you for joining me for another video. Okay, so if you're in the process of considering buying your first home, I want to tell you about 8 steps in this process, okay? The first step is finding a realtor. You want someone that knows the area. If you're in Atlanta or surrounding areas, that would be me, Allie, your girl, me. You want someone also that you feel comfortable talking with. If you don't feel comfortable talking with the person about anything that comes up, then they don't need to be your realtor, okay? During this process, there's going to be a lot of communication. You need to be able to talk to and be able to express all of your concerns, good or bad, with your realtor, okay? Number 2, get all of your documents in order. Before your realtor, including me, most of them anyway, takes you out to view properties, they want to make sure that you have a pre-approval. In order to get the pre-approval, you have to send the documents over to the lender. These documents are the last 2 years of your tax returns, the last 2 years of your W-2s, depending on which lender, the last 30 to 60 days of your pay stubs. You want to get all this together so that when it's time to present them to the lender, you will be able to move quickly and not drag your feet, which will in turn make the process go even longer, okay? So get your documentation in order. Number 3, apply for a mortgage. And in all actuality, it's not a bad idea to apply with multiple lenders. That way you get an idea of what you'll be approved for, of what your interest rate will be, okay? So don't just do one. It would be a good idea to do a couple of them. Something else to keep in mind is if you are going to apply for multiple lenders at a time, you want to do them within a short, 30-day period. The reason is the reporting system won't keep dinging your credit over and over and over again if you're applying for a mortgage within this short time frame, okay? And no one likes to get their credit dinged unnecessarily. So if you're going to do it quickly within a short time frame, okay? Something that I do suggest to my clients is that whenever you do get your pre-approval, for example, if your pre-approval is at 450, don't just look at houses that are 450. Go down some, maybe 400 or 425, because that's going to give you some wiggle room, right? And the reason why I say this is because the lender is going to make their determination based off of your gross amount, not your net amount, okay? They don't know what bills you have outside of what your mortgage is going to be. For example, if you pay daycare, Lord knows, when I had my babies in daycare, I had 2. They were daycare at the same time. It was a grip to have them in daycare. The lenders doesn't know that. So you want to keep that in mind of all of your outside bills so that you're not overextending yourself and you don't have to worry about you can't pay this bill, can't pay that bill because your mortgage is too high. Number 4, and this is the part that a lot of people are excited about. You get to go out and actually view properties. So remember back on number 1 when I said get a realtor that you are comfortable talking to. You need to talk to your realtor about what type of market you are in, because currently we are in a seller's market. So the strategy that we would have in a seller's market would be different than the strategy that we would have in a buyer's market. So you need to know what type of market you are in so that you can put your best foot forward when you're making offers in order to get under contract. Number 5, it's time to make your offer. So we'll make the offer, submit it to the seller, and they will either accept it, they'll make a counter offer, or they'll ignore it, okay? One of those 3 things are going to happen. And that's when you and I work together to make sure that we are writing a compelling offer for the seller. Number 6, your offer has been accepted. So now we are binding. What that means is you as the buyer have signed, the seller has signed, and now it is a binding contract. Number 7, you're under contract. Now at this point, several things are happening. You're under due diligence. Due diligence is the time frame that you have to get your inspections done, have contractors come in, do some measurements. You can ride around the neighborhood at different times of day to see what the activity level is. So many things that can happen during this time frame. Now, remember I was talking about your realtor, how important they are with communication? You and your realtor have discussed how long your due diligence period is going to be. Also, remember I was talking about the type of market versus seller's market or a buyer's market. Depending on your market will determine how long your due diligence process should be. For example, we're currently in a seller's market. So I would suggest that the due diligence period be a little bit shorter. So this is the time that you have, like I said, to get those things done, your inspection, contractors, neighborhood, whatever it is you want to do. And this is important because if you want to back out of the contract, you can do so during this due diligence period. So it's important to know what you want and make sure you want to keep going, because this is the time that you have to back out, okay? So your inspection is done. The reports come back, okay? You look at the report, and this is when you work with your realtor yet again. See how much y'all work together? You need to have a good realtor. This is when you work with your realtor to see what you want to request for repairs from the seller, if any, okay? So you would request repairs from your seller. You would send that over to them for them to decide if, yes, we're going to do these repairs. No, we won't do this, but we may do that. You know, it's negotiations back and forth. That happens during this due diligence period as well. So let's say that you and the seller cannot come to terms with what the repairs are going to be. They're not going to do enough for you to be comfortable in the property, so you decide to walk away. You can decide to walk away as long as you are still in this due diligence period. So it's very important that your realtor keeps track of these days so that you are still within this time frame. So you've come to an agreement with the seller and you decide that you want to keep on with the process. The next step is getting the appraisal done. The appraisal is important because the lender is not going to loan you more than what the home is worth, okay? The lender is not going to give you more money for the property than what the home is worth. So if you are living in the property and for whatever reason life happens and you can no longer pay, they're going to foreclose on this property and take this asset back. So in order for the lender to make sure that they are only giving you what the home is worth, they're going to send out an independent third party, which is the appraiser, to make sure that the home is worth what the contract price is listed for. So another thing that's happening during this time is that the lender is sending all of your documents along with the contract over to the underwriter, because they want to make sure that you still qualify. You qualified for the pre-approval, but things happen, life happens, and they want to make sure that during the time frame of looking for houses and going back and forth with offers, that you still qualify for the loan. So when you first got approved, the underwriter probably didn't call your job to make sure that you actually worked there. They didn't go through your documents with a fine-tooth comb. But during this time, all those things are happening. They're going to make sure that you're still employed. They're going to look through all your statements to make sure, see what's coming in and what's going out. They want to make sure that you can actually qualify for the loan, that you can actually pay for what the contract amount is on the contract. So once your appraisal comes back, and once you're done in underwriting, you move from approved to fully approved. And that's when you get your clear to close, meaning that your next step is number 8, which is going to closing. So at closing, be prepared to sign a lot of documents. This is when you are signing documents acknowledging that you're getting the loan, acknowledging what your payment is going to be, acknowledging what will happen if you don't make payments, acknowledging your interest rate. So many things are happening paperwork-wise. So be prepared to use your hand, right hand or left hand, to do live signing. This is also the time when the title is transferred from the seller to the buyer, okay? If you have any questions at all, please reach out by commenting down below or reaching out via social media, email, phone, whatever. I'm happy to help. That's what I'm here for, to help you get to your dream home. If you haven't subscribed and you watched to the end, you clearly like what I've talked about or like me as a person, because I am kind of great. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.